Well, one of my favorite hymns of all time, probably my top five, has to be It Is Well With My Soul. How many of you guys, that's one of your favorite hymns of all time? I love It Is Well With My Soul by Horatio Spafford. It's been, that hymn has been a part of my life, and I'm sure it's been a part of your life as well. Many key points in my life. Dark times, troublesome times, and that hymn has been there to bring comfort and relief and hope when things seem their darkest. And I'm sure many of you are aware of the story behind the writing of that hymn, but for those of you who aren't familiar with it, as I said before, it was written in 1873 by a man by the name of Horatio Spafford, who was a successful lawyer in Chicago. And Spafford was married with 4 daughters, and he was a key member of his church at that time. He was a Presbyterian. Well, we won't hold that against him, though. But he was also a really big supporter of evangelist D.L. Moody, who was ministering there in Chicago at that particular time. And that said, Spafford, if you know anything about his life, he had so many trials. He endured many trials in his life, including the Great Chicago Fire of 1871, wherein a lot of his wealth literally burned to the ground. He owned a ton of land, a lot of buildings at that time, real estate, and it literally went up in flames, and so he lost everything. But if you know Spafford, the rest of Spafford's story, you know that was only the beginning of his troubles, because 2 years after that fire, D.L. Moody, he was holding evangelistic meetings over in England and Great Britain. He was helped by his friend Charles Spurgeon, of course. Moody and Spurgeon were really good friends, but Spafford, being a great supporter of Moody,